Pikachu, 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 what a mighty Pikachu, what a mighty, mighty Pikachu. Pikachu, what a chew, what a Pika, Pikachu, what a Pikachu, yo. That's right. I sing songs to you. Still. We still, we're still friends. After getting him some administrative help. The new boss, don't tell Pika. No, we're not talking about you behind your back, Pikachu. No, we would never do that to you. Welcome back to the Super Sully Sunday stream. That's right, it's alliteration. We talk about pop culture. We talk about spirituality. We talk about cooking. We talk about good things. We talk about comic books as well, such as what did I get from my local comic book shop this week? What's in the bag? Well, we'll find out closer to the end. Not much this week. It was a light week, but it's all about quality, not quantity. And a few issues were sold out. That's right. What's on the show notes this week that you two made for me? Finally, a Sully you can trust. That's right. Here, shown, shot, produced, written in America, the greatest country in the world that people still fight and die to get into. Everyone wants to be an American. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And I just say welcome to a place without Russian money influence, to a place without Chinese money influence. So both Republicans and Democrats are going to be really fucking confused hanging out here, being like, oh my God, who do I take my orders from? Oh my goodness. Oh, I need guidance. I need my Führer. I need my comrade. I need the commissar. That's weird. Stop being so weird, Sully. That's good luck with that. Hello, humans and other critters. Good to see you, Snortapoopus. Snortapoopus. Cuber. Well, he's a very, very good polar bear. I don't like to think that way, Pika. He's thinking, who do you would win in a fight? A Pikachu or a polar bear? And I'm like, I'm staying out of that one. This is the t-shirt I got at Boston Wicked Comic Con. Or is it Wicked Comic Con Boston 2024? It was in my VIP bag with my oversized lanyard, which was kind of cool. And polar bear for the win. See, yeah, I mean, just no wagering, please. But what if the polar bear is coming out of the water and you do an electroshock attack? You never know. Exactly. Hey, AL, good to see you. How are you today? Huzzah. Hope everything is coming up well for you. It's a beautiful day. A couple of weeks away from New York City Comic Con. Heck, I was going to ask you, I was going to get you on the on an email and be like, hey, if you so happen to see that Frank Miller variant cover of Absolute Batman #1, I could send you some money and you can send it my way, because I'm not buying a copy. Jim Warner from Weird Science presumes that, oh yeah, you're going to get a copy, aren't you? I know you are. I know you. Like, well, I do like the Dracota art, and I mean, it just if it was that Frank Miller copy, yeah, I would definitely buy that one. Yeah, to have, to hold, to cherish from this day forward, in sickness and in health. No, I'm not asking you to marry me, Pika. You know what I mean? But she's already married. She's already hitched. So, she's just here to help. Please, the days of workplace romances are over, Pika. I don't know where you get these delusions of grandeur from. The control booth in the back there, we have our Cecilized Canadian bear. We have our critical drinker plushie. They run the microphone, the camera, the lighting, the whole operation. We have our executive production team and writers, a Pikachu and an X-Ray Girl plushie, and then me, the talent. That's right. I only read down what they write. There's copious amounts of show notes. So we've got a few show notes today. Yep. We just want to remind you that this is a great place to feel patriotic about our great country, the United States of America. You know, there's a huge amount of us in the center that are just tolerating and putting up with far right and alt left voices or whatever. Is that how it goes? See, I don't even care. It's just they're attention seeking little whores. I should know because I was one as a child. And if you can't, you know, get it your way, you will ruin the game for everyone. This is like, this whole thing is fraught with only child behavior. I got a hot chocolate. Gosh, I've had a weird weekend. I had 3 beers on Friday night with my supper after a long, hard day at work. And that's fine because it's just like, this is just 3 pints of Guinness. Guinness has like one of the lowest alcohol contents in any beer. I had 3 pints over the course of, say, under 2 hours. And, oh, wow. And then it's a list of comics that we're going to get back one by one. Indeed. Maybe else. You want me to send you my entire collection of Countdown to Infinite Crisis and Countdown to Final Crisis? I got all these boxes of comic books that like I barely even I haven't looked at in years. So if you want like a seed starter kit, AL, we'll talk off air. We'll find out a way to get you some of these comics. You know what I mean? It might not be your kind of collection either. So, you know, it's a collection. It's such a personal thing. Every story has a story attached to it. Who you were that day, where you were that day, what was like the going on, like how did you make that money to have afforded that comic book that week, that month, that year, that run, that story, that press. You know, did you, you know, I just want to make sure, like, you know, I feel like a little helpless and you know, but we'll be able to do something for you. One of these, you know, yeah, variant copy, yeah. Take a look, tell me, and like, quote me a price, you know, on the email. You know, like I'll tell you to pick up 2, one for yourself and one for me, and I'll get that. You know, as you know, and I'll send along, you know, shipping and handling charges too. You know, if you have, you know. Cool. And yeah, happy Sunday. I was on Wes's Thinking Critical yesterday. That was a fun show. We had Dylan, Aaron Sparrow, Jim Werner, as always, Doc, and Wes himself. And it's a good way to look at it too. I mean, there's the whole Buddhist thing of attachment. You know what I mean? And, you know, it just, but there is, you know, memories and suffering and loss and, you know, just, you know, but it is, you know, when it comes down to it, it's just all stuff, and everyone sounds like they're safe, and no one got hurt, you know, and God bless, huzzah. What did I read this week? Is it time for that yet? No, that's closer to near the end of the show. But let me just count them real quick. I did read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 Marvel comic books this week. I only read and bought 1 DC comic book this week. I'm really picky about the DC comics, and I'm okay with that. And then I read a bunch of indie books too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, and 7 over here. 7. All right, so 7 times 8, that's 25. So I read 25 comic books this week. Yeah. And most of them were okay. The Marvel ones were okay. I wanted to share something because we need it. And then active ingredient in this show is satire and humor. Okay. For the oversensitive of the internet out there, every one of these, the first generation of any immigrants, have their growing pains in the great American melting pot. The Irish did, the Chinese did, you know what I mean? The Latinos do. And so all this stuff coming out about, 20,000 Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, and now having to worry about house pets. It's an interesting, because you need proof. I need proof. I don't know about you. I need proof. But one thing I do have proof is that I can tie a cherry stem with my tongue. Yes, I can. It takes a little effort, takes some know-how, and it takes knowing how to move things around with your tongue. And so I made a claim this morning on Twitter's, Twitter's, X's, Twitters, and I said this. I made a proclamation. I said that I wanted to say that I eat pussy better than an Haitian refugee. But then you'd have to believe either to believe the other, right? Me being funny, and I said, all apologies to the internet oversensitive, because they're out there, ladies and gentlemen. And, here we are. And look at me. This is 2.5 years ago. And I was probably about 30 pounds lighter, to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah. That's a medium Adidas warm-up outfit. It's down by my lightest. I was probably about 175 pounds. I'm back up to about 200. Peek is a little camera shy right now because he knows I'm up to some naughtiness. He has to look away for the moment. Studio hasn't changed much. Big studio changes coming soon. Yep. I can tie a cherry stem with my tongue. Take that, Haitian refugees. Yeah. What is that supposed to mean? Who cares? It's just silly being silly. Hello, Warlion. Can't stay but drop by to say hi, and hopefully you all are doing well. Well, no, because you're an omnivore, and you're also a waterborne mammal. So eating clams should be like second nature. In tacos, that just takes about, just coming up on the right beaches and just like, and having proper, change. Or maybe do you use pearls taken from the clams? That's good to know about, like, our friend. How do polar bears buy stuff on dry land? I bet it's from the pearls from the clams that they cultivate. I don't know. But come and enjoy the patriotism. We have some neutral patriotism here. We love our country. We love our fellow citizens. Yes, even though you can disagree with them, and but I mean, just like the level of toxicity you'll see in this election year is just amazing. And it's just, we have to have angels' wings in order to be able to fly above the sea of liquid poop. That is election year cycle, just bad feelings. People are more than their political beliefs. People are also their religious and spiritual beliefs. People are also, they're like They're condo association agreements. You know what I mean? That's a mini society right there, and it's like a mini form of socialism too. You all paying an equal part to all have an equal solution in the running and upkeep of the common areas and property. You know, like snow removal, or just like, or having the driveways painted or something, or, you know, the parking lot painted, or, you know, this and that and the other thing. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions. But we had a couple of tragic losses this week. James Earl Jones, character actor, 93 years old. Wow. He was the voice of Darth Vader. He was the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King. He played so many different other characters outside, like Thulsa Doom and in Conan the Barbarian. He was Arnold Schwarzenegger's big bad, like a snake god. And that's what's funny, because that is that's the antagonist, I believe, from Kull the Conqueror. Where's Dwayne Muth when we need him? You know, I know that right now that Yule Carter has a live stream going on right now. Maybe we should stream. Let's snipe him. I can't hear anything. Is he on live right now? He is. And who's he? He's got a guest. Who's he live with? We're gonna go. Let's stream snipe Yule Carter real quick, because he's our friend. Oh, it's over because he's playing my favorite part of the show. Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of LA, hoping to find with their British food collections, and just as fate would have it, they ended up with Sunset Sam. This is Michael Nesmith from a 1981 video album he did. He won a Grammy. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase from a TV tray. I would watch this on like USA Up All Night or Night Flight. What's up, Lane Kramer? Three of them were standing, staring at each other, with a light behind their eyes, blew each other's cover. An ancient coup was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their museum, because they saw the brother Sunset Sam. He was one of the monkeys. He inherited the whiteout fortune, and he had like he was here at the beginning of Rock's videos. On the streets, trying to find a plan. People on the streets looking for their land. Lucy and Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. I don't know. I don't care. I'm singing the song. Oh, I don't care. That's funny. And she met Ramona at the zoo. I think Ramona is the cutest thing. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and woo her. From Brooklyn, she left when she was 22. I love the bass line of this. This is just like it's got nonsensical, absurd lyrics, but this is like a perfectly produced, arranged and written pop song. It's like 2.5 minutes long, and just cute little story, but it's got a hook. It's got a guitar riff. Hey yo. Lucy and Ramona, Sunset Sam, people on the streets trying to find a plan. People on the streets looking for their land. Lucy and Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. Yes, and Lucy and Ramona and Sunset Sam. People on the streets trying to find a plan. People on the streets just looking for their land. Lucy and Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. That's right. How you like them apples? I love that song. I do. I was a huge fan of the Monkees growing up. And also the Monkees turned me on to Frank Zappa, or got me at least my mind prepared for the eventuality that I would be able to accept who Frank Zappa is as an artist. Then Dr. Demento, Under the Smogberry Trees, on the Westwood One Radio Network, introduced me to Frank Zappa. And, you know, and then my first stepdad had he was a musician, and he had Zappa LPs, Chic Your Booty. And I memorized that album like when I was like 10 years old. It's absurd lyrics. You know what I mean? If you think that hip hop lyrics are bad for kids, what about Frank Zappa? Indeed. How are you all doing today? It's good to see everybody out there. And I always listen to the Yule. I watch Yule's show every week. I wake up to it on Wednesday mornings, and I try to check in before I go to bed to leave a comment. So, you know, be part of the conversation when I wake up in the morning too. So, and you know, who's going to be first? Is it going to be Sully or Fantinuum? Leaving the first comment of the day over at, yeah. And so subscribe to Yule Carter. You know what I mean? He's got a show. Let me get the deets. His deets are in the details of this show, to be honest with you. Seriously. Where did they go? Oh, Fantastic Comics. There you are. There you are. I'm going to put this in the link. Boom. Here you go. Do yourself a favor. Subscribe to Fantastic Comics. Turn on those notifications so you won't miss. He's got a comic book show told from not just a comic book fan's perspective, but the perspective of a comic book shop and a comic book shop's owner. And, you know, being part of this American dream, being an independent bookstore in this 21st century, and dealing with the real life curveballs that everything has thrown at all of us Americans, especially small businesses. And it's very important that we support our small businesses, and our small business will thrive. We should be giving them our patronage. So if you're out there and if you're missing some comic books, you know what I mean? Don't you keep a note open on your phone? Don't you have a notepad? Here's some. This is the shit. It's just some things I need. You know, here we go. I don't even know if that one came out yet. The Seance from Harry's Opus, #1 by Temple Smith. But yeah, like, I mean, these are the things I need to like fill in. I also need a couple of Jupiter's Legacy 2. I think the last 2 issues of that as well. I have to double check that one. You know, but yeah, this is the list of stuff I need. That ASM 611, I saw that at the last convention, and they wanted $30 for that. And I think it was an 8.0. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And all, you know, just the loose issues you need, and then the suggestions you get. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is my list of comics to get. Oh, I got that Avengers Annual #10. It's a facsimile, but I got it all the same. These are all the. Yeah, there's a 1988, 1889 like official sequel to Patrick McGowan's The Prisoner, and it's on that premiere format. I would love to check that out. That's on the list. I'm always saying, like, I never have enough room anymore for my comics, but still, I have plans to get more and more stuff. So yeah, here we are. Here I am, and your rocket queen. I might be too young, but honey, you're a bit obscene. Here I am, and your rocket queen. Oh yeah, I might be too much, but honey, you're a bit obscene. Here we go. Fantastic Comics at Fantastic Comics. Yule's got currently 1.16 like 1,160 odd subscribers. He's got 439 videos. He's done he's done 237 episodes of his show. They were consecutive up until, so something, he's got a story. But yeah, he had to, finally take a break after like that was like 5 years, almost 5 years of consecutive Tuesday night show. He does a Tuesday night show. It's 11 o'clock p.m. here in Boston Eastern time, but he premieres at 7 p.m. Pacific time from where he comes from in Berkeley, California, part of the Bay Area. Yeah, and he's got a great opening theme song and a great opening montage. The first 10 minutes is just clips of different stuff, and then he's got a great show. I mean, and I'm always entertained. I really am. I'm so blessed and grateful to be tuned into Fantastic Comics and Yule Carter. And also, I hit up Yule for hey, Fair Monarch, good to see you. Hey, Mo. Yeah, you won't find that anywhere because people are going to keep that kind of tight-lipped. I read it. I did. I read it yesterday. Yeah. I'm keeping zip until it's go time. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's true, yeah. Is it good? It's yeah. Okay. But yeah, so that's come and check out Yule Carter's channel, and if you need some back issues, check in with him. You're helping out a small business, the American Dream, an independent bookstore, and I've got several purchases from Fantastic Comics, and they've all been timely. They all come within a week of because he's in Berkeley, California. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. We have an entire continent between us. So, the package usually gets here within 7, business days, and, and in great condition in a Gemini mailer, properly packed. And I've been consistently pleased. So, yeah. And I believe we have yet another stack starting up. That's true. And, but good to see everyone out there. Yeah. I have to check into the Patriots game. Good. The Patriots are now up 20-17. It's our second game of the season, and we're hosting the Seattle Seahawks, of whom that we beat in the Super Bowl. And, yeah. And yeah, that's ancient history too. But I'm very happy that the Patriots are wearing blue shirts and silver pants, not the Color Rush uniform. They're gonna have to wear that a few times this season, but they don't look like they look like a high school football team when they wear blue shirts with blue pants. So today with the blue shirts and silver pants, I'm like, you guys look like the New England Patriots out there. That's it's me in the fields. I'm not up for that Color Rush uniform. The chicken marketing made that decision. She just wants to invade men's spaces and embarrass them with faux haute couture. Haute couture? Faux haute couture. If you faux haute couture yourself, Pikachu. Dwayne Booth, how you doing? Was Tulsa Doom? Did he come from Call of the Conqueror, Dwayne Muth? We were talking about we were just talking about the who passed this week, and we were talking about James Earl Jones, and Conan the Barbarian, and he was the big bad. But didn't that bad guy, that wasn't originally a Conan bad guy, correct? He was Tulsa Doom. Am I saying that right? I'm not really a Conan or a Cull fan, you know. And oh no, I did not see the Venom trailer. I got no interest. It's so weird. Grand rising to you, and Sabander. I feel like I saw you in homeroom this morning or something. We're at MVP's Sunday chill stream. Max Von Priestley, he's an awesome dude, and he has a Sunday chill stream where he paints Warhammer 40K miniatures. He's a former U.S. Marine, did 2 tours of duty protecting our country and our freedoms. He's a friend of ours, friend of mine, and through these circles, been my panel mate over at Wes's Thinking Critical's Comics Aficionados a bunch of times, and I'm a member of his channel too. And I tune in on Sundays at 10 o'clock. He's got a great build show or a painting show. It's a chill stream. It's a nerdy, geeky chill stream. And he's got great co-hosts. It's a guy with usually 3 or 4 nerdy gals. Stephanie from Geeks and Gamers. We've got Carol Lynn. She's one of the producers of Ripperverse. And then you have X-Ray Girl herself, Gary Beekler, Nerdrotics, FNT, Friday Night Tights producer. And she does a lot of her own shows too. I mean, she's married to Mark the Cyborg. They do a lot of gaming. Like they were hardcore gamers. And it's fun because X-Ray Girl is kind of a noob as well to certain properties. Like I think she's watching Doctor Who for the first time, you know, and they're younger people too. I mean, they're 20, 25 years younger than me and Gary and all, you know what I mean? Just like, so the torch has been passed. It's wonderful. And I'm here for that. We're all here for that. And, but yeah, we were talking about James Earl Jones, and yeah, Dwayne the Muth says it's called The Conqueror. Yes. Thank you. And also Tulsa Doom was, you know, there's a team up with Conan and Cull in the current Jim Zub Titan book that I'm not buying. But I read when I see it in my pirate chest, and it's always amazing. It's just the level of art, the nudity, the violence, the posture, the musculature, the magic, the sword, the sorcery. This thing's got it going on, man. But I've never been like a Conan reader. Maybe, well, now is always the right time, isn't it? Now is always the right time. Actually, just like come aboard. Indeed. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she's a good kid. She's a really, well, you know, I'm 52 years old. Everyone's a kid to me, but very nice. Exactly. Yeah, that's been, you know, and it's part of the reason like that kills me too, because I'm like such an Ethan Van Sciver fan. You know this. I know this. I wear his t-shirts. I wear this. I have a sweatshirt. I love his books. I watch his show. Yule Carter will tell you how many times he's seen me in the live chat of Ethan Van Sciver's shows. And because I love running into Yule Carter over there, because he is not that side of the aisle when it comes to the fandom, when it comes to that, you know, that kind of YouTube voice. And I love how Yule Carter is always kind of giving some, like, you know, good sense of pushback. And, you know, just it's great. I love it. But also that he like cares enough to pay attention to what this big blowhard is saying. And how dangerous is this idiot? I mean, is he? I mean, yeah. So, hey, Joseph Ricci, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm doing well today. How are you? Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us. We're talking pop culture. We're talking gratitude. We talk about cooking a lot of the times too. And like Friday, I made battered fish and chips all day. Oh, lay it on me. I got some new Star Wars news too. This week, one of the comic books I read was Charles Soule's Star Wars number 50 from Marvel Comics. Star Wars Volume 2, number 50. You know what I mean? What's your news? Beautiful art by Marie Severin Johnson. Yeah. But it's this week's brand new one. And we'll get through it when we get there. But James Earl Jones, he's passed away at the age of 93. God bless him and his family. There's only one Acolyte comic that I'm even aware of, and it was the Kalnaka one-shot that was released last week. And there is a line called High Republic Phase 3, which is set literally 100 years before the Acolyte. And they only started putting that on the trade dress and the covers in the past 2 issues. Seriously, there was no cross-platform, no corporate syzygy there. But only like in the past, only 2 months ago did Star Wars High Republic started having set 100 years before the Acolyte on Disney Plus. And I thank you. It's my Starbucks Chicago City Cup from 2017. It's nice. You see the Navy piers, Ferris wheel. I'd be afraid to go up there. I'm a big pussy. You know, there's the loop. More cancellations from Disney. Cool. Disney said she'll be canceled. Why? Well, Disney isn't focused on Walt's mission. This is I watch a lot of Neon and Geeky Sparkles over at Clownfish TV, and they do their daily dose of Dismal Disney. It was just really funny. They used to make Disney comics 20 years ago. So they're in the biz. They're industry people. Clownfish is really I like them. And but as theme parks go, I mean that's the avatar of the Disney experience has to be the theme park visit. Is it worth the money? It's the fast track? Is like, hey, they're changing. There's no more was it Smoke Mountain, Cheese Mountain? What is it? Yeah, Splash Mountain. And they replaced it with Tia's Magical Princess log ride. And like the Star Wars land that they finally got over there it doesn't have Tatooine. It's not the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's the Darth Vader won't be walking around. Listen, I would have gone already if it was that experience. Seriously, I would have had this Disney experience. I might be on my second if it had that kind of focus on original trilogy. Or maybe, but no. What happened to Disney? They say it's Bob Iger. This is Bob Iger's Disney. It's not about Walt Disney's vision, about what he the guesses he made about Americana, that he made pastiches of like Main Street or like this and that. I mean, one of my favorite things in Disney World was the Swiss Family Robinson house. I saw that when I was 15 years old. And that's just the attention to detail, the whole kind of just the application of technology to make life, it's just like the living room, the kitchen, and just like the whole thing of adapting this treehouse was wonderful, beautiful, fictional treehouse. And all these creature comforts. And I had running water, and because that fascinated me. Even then, the kitchen fascinated me. And yeah. So I was just checking up with, they got a cheese mountain. It's a nacho fountain, more like it. It had 3-4 kinds of cheese. It had Gouda, it had Swiss, and I'm ripping off Ricky Bobby, you know what I mean? Talladega Nights. That's Fluff Nutter. That's pure sugar. The Red Sox are playing too. We're playing the Yankees in New York. And the Red Sox are in third place, and we'll be lucky to make it over 500 this year. I mean, like, we're at 75 and 74. The Yankees, I think, are the first place team, where they're fighting the Orioles for first place. They're 86 and 63. So yeah, we'll be lucky to end this season over 500. That's okay. I mean, just only one team can win the championship. A lot of it has to do with just playing right and trying to win and putting your best effort out there with the best team you got assembled. Like, I've really kind of like I have a theory that it's a demon, a dancing demon. No, something isn't right there. I have a theory, we can work it out. I have a funny feeling, what's this singing all about? I got a theory that it's a witches, which is ridiculous because witches are over, and I'll be over there. I got a theory, it doesn't matter. What can we face if we're together? What? Except there's nothing we can't face except for bunnies. Thank you, Mo. That's from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Once More with Feeling, season 6 of the musical episode. It was a trope. It was a trend in TV. Like, everyone had a musical episode around that time in the late 90s. Like Xena the Warrior Princess. What else had musical episodes? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments section. Which ones do you remember? Yeah, there's nothing we can't face except for bunnies. Bunnies. Bunnies, it must be bunnies. Or maybe midgets. Let's see. Where were we going with this? Okay, so also, well, because I was talking about sports in Boston, and like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, or the 70s, the 80s and 90s, to be honest with you. And we didn't start winning championships. Well, the Celtics had a few in the 80s. But then, and then we went to the World Series in 86. We went to the Stanley Cup in 88 and 90. The Pats went to the Super Bowl in 85. But the Celtics won too. And was it 3? Sometimes you can't. It's hard to keep track because they win so many sometimes. But that was as close as you can get to like sports excellence. And the losing teams, well, they got the brunt of the rage of the fans, the fandom, the voices from the bleachers and in the seats. Empty seats don't yell back at you saying, "Hey, you suck! Why are you on the power play? Ah, come on!" I mean, this is the spirit of Boston sports. We didn't have. There was a very entitled, very outraged local fan culture about sports, and I see that in today's fandom, especially when it comes to the YouTube spheres that I'm aligned with. No pun. Yeah, it's the criticism spheres and the disappointment spheres of like we are like Red Sox fans yelling from the bleachers at the players and the coaches, yelling at the talent and the creatives. You know what I mean? Hey, you guys suck out there. Why don't you freaking shore up that fucking defense there? Learn how to throw a ball, you pansy. This is like that. I feel that's an authentic kind of like sports voice. So, I mean, tone-wise, message-wise, delivery, intent. These are the same things that we're saying to, well, oversensitive Hollywood people that like treat this and weaponize this as abuse and toxicity, they might have a point. Or words or violence, or then the equivocations. Only a bigot would say this about a show that's so proudly intersectional. Seriously, they don't say that about the Red Sox. The Red Sox are like the most intersectional team you can imagine on the planet. I mean, a world team. We got so many Asian players, so many people from around the world play for the Red Sox and in Major League Baseball as well. I mean, baseball is a huge international sport these days. I mean, I hear it's huge in Saudi Arabia because the Americans brought, had brought baseball with them, and so they, all the kids grow up together. And I heard that like Saudi Arabia has like a robust Little League baseball thing. I wonder, Mo, if you like baseball, and have you is there a baseball culture in Saudi Arabia or around there, and like in the Arab states? You know what I mean? Because you have perpetually good weather for it, and but I've seen, yeah, you don't have baseball here. Oh, okay. It must be strictly to the Army bases then. That's what I heard. Like that, none whatsoever. Wow. Maybe you should start. Baseball's fun. It's like no time limit. That's why we call it the pastime. I mean, you can get into the game like all you got to do is just tune on the game and look at the pitch count and look at where if there's got runners in base, you know what I mean, and look at the scoreboard, and you can just get caught up PDQ. All right, it's the bottom of the fourth inning. We got 2-1 in scoring position, and we got 2 outs. And the pitch count is 1 and 2. Yeah, one of those things. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, I've seen this before. It's just fandoms are just, and then look at England or Italy or Spain and how psychotic football hooligans, ultras, fans of British soccer, English, Italian Serie A, whatever the hell it is. Indeed. Oh, well, yeah. Soccer being the most dominant sport in the entire world. And then comes ice hockey, too. Ice hockey has a huge appeal. International ice hockey is just it's an interesting thing. All right. The Patriots are up 20-17. That means we got 2 touchdowns. Yeah. We had a fourth quarter touchdown. It's underneath the 2-minute warning, and we're up by 3. Seattle's got the ball at New England's 25. It's 2nd and 10. See yeah. I mean, I like being a sports fan because you can tune into that situation right there. Fourth quarter, 1 minute 43 left. How many times out does everyone have? It doesn't say. Indeed. But we lost John Cassaday, 52 years old, of a heart attack. John Cassaday was a comic book writer. Artist. He did a lot of great things. Astonishing X-Men with Joss Whedon, and Planetary with Warren Ellis are the 2 that immediately come to mind. It's really expensive. To be sure, it's the most expensive sport because also it's about ice time. You have to pay dues to rent the ice, and then all the equipment too. So God bless hockey families. Seriously, all that equipment you got to buy. Sheesh. It's 3rd and 1 at the New England 15. Seattle, if they go for 3, will tie the game, and then there's an attempt at overtime. It's not I think it's whoever's first to score. It's kind of, it's what if you score in the first possession there? You come on, you're due a possession to try to get it back. I don't know. That sounds just But the whole thing is you're trying to force a turnover then? Well, you always want to be. Mm-hmm. We lost him. And we also lost Carl Moline. We had like 3 different Buffy things here with with singing it and with bringing up Joss Whedon, his work on Marvel Comics with John Cassaday. But Carl Moline, I know him from a wonderful Dark Horse book called Frey, which was done with Joss Whedon while Buffy the Vampire Slayer was being aired and produced. So this Frey came out during what we would know as like season 5 or 6 of Buffy, and not congruent with it. Frey is set in the far future. The city of Manhattan is now known as Haddon. And so it's so built up top. You know what I mean? There is definitely lower levels. The closer you get to street level, you'll never see sunlight because there's just so much built up on top of that. Perfect place for lurkers, aka what we know as vampires. And there are no slayers until Melika Frey is awakened, and she is the next slayer out of, you know what I mean? There's still a tradition of the Watcher, and it introduces this the Slayer scythe. It's an axe. There's a long handle and a wooden stake at the end. And it looks like a guitar, like a heavy metal guitar. And this ends up in Buffy season 7 as like full circle kind of thing. This is the weapon, the ancient weapon of the Slayer is the Slayer scythe. Yeah. And then that's what Buffy uses as a magical totem at the last minute to activate all the Slayers and share the power way before any of that postmodernism kind of leaked out everywhere. You have a notion, but it wasn't just like taking the man's power and forcing the man to share the power. No. This was an act from a woman who had all the power. And her decision and her solution was to share that power. So all the potential slayers became slayers, and they were able to defeat the first army of Uber Vamps. Remember, I love this show. And yeah, big Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But Carl Moline, he drew Frey. He drew a couple of other things too, like back in the day, around that time. Haven't heard from him recently, but he was another comic book artist gone too soon, 51 years old. And that kind of does it for the show notes in a way. I did have something I wanted to, I haven't shown them in a while. We started doing this unfiltered, unrehearsed, unscripted, from the hip, from the heart, from the soul, from my belly button to the tip of my tongue to you. And with our wonderful production company, the Cecilized Canadian Bear, the Canadian Drinker plushie in the control booth, manning the lights, the cameras, the action, and our executive producers, a Pikachu and the X-Ray Girl plushie. And I'm just the talent, always have been. And since our channel's been growing all this time, and in the early days of the show, we used to do a daily show. We did a daily show for about 500 odd episodes. That was a real commitment. And we used that prop over there. It's a hardcover book called The Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 Days, where I would open them up and it would say today's date, and it would have a blurb, and it would have a picture of an aspect of a Golden Age comic. And we would talk about Golden Age comics. We talked about the history of comics, and it was a really fun show, and I really liked that. But I had supplemental stuff that I would always say, like, hey, you want to learn more about comic books? These are the best books out there to read, unless you want to just, because YouTube has shows for that. There's so many, shows by creators that will show you how to do it. Like Jim Zub has an amazing series on writing your scripts, how to break down panels, and your action. What are the quality, what are the, like, there are a lot of just visual shorthand things that we're used to reading a comic, and that how we kind of have, our eyes have been trained to read a page. I mean, that can't be taken for granted. You have to know how to manipulate that human, satiation of act structure, of building action, of falling action, rising and falling action, of B story, of show don't tell. I mean, I love comic books. I'm a lifelong fan, and I had this book when I was a kid, and so I recently got a new version of this. This is How to Draw Marvel Comics the Marvel Way. Oh, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It's by Stan Lee and illuminated by John Buscema, who was one of the original Marvel bullpen people. And it breaks down everything I just was talking about. The importance of camera work, of staging your scene, of framing your scene, picking your vanishing point, establishing your light source. Where is your horizon line? How deep is your shading and your shadowing? I mean, is it cartoony? Is it photorealistic? This is just, good stuff. Like, how do you start? How do you get, how do you do this? Well, there is a trick to it, and there is a ratio, and there is, there's a way to it, and a way into it as well. I love this one. It's about one of the most prevalent things in a superhero comic book has got to be fight scenes. Now, why is that weak? And why is that best and the strongest? Well, it's because it's about either the wind-up or the follow-through. And that denotes potential, and it denotes result of action. And this is just a wonderful, wonderful book. No borders. Gutters. What are the lines in between panels? Those are called gutters. The importance of your cover. Your cover is selling your book. Should it be interesting? Yes. Would you want to get someone to just take it off the newsstand or the spinner rack and buy it? What an interesting. It's fun. It's informative. Same here with Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. It's a graphic novel in 12 issues, written as comic books, explaining the history of comic books. And it's also a crash course in art history, color theory, the printing publication industry. What? I've had this copy for 25 years. Seriously. It's a good book. However you feel, can you say or separate the art from the artist in this case, especially since this predates any of our modernity? I've had this since, 96? How long have I had this? I think I've had this copy since 97. This is a great comic book, and it tells the story of the history of comics, of sequential art. And I love this. This is sequential art. That's the most basic you can get between two panels. But now juxtapose this to Japanese manga reading values of an indigenous individual from there. This man is not this person is not taking off their hat. They are putting it on because they read in the opposite direction. But yeah, this is a good book. And I know that Scott McCloud is, he's got former, yeah. Wow, I don't have my original Tundra version anymore. Signed too. Yeah. You got rid of it because of him? Yeah, but this is a, I don't, yeah, huh? Just, can you separate the art from the artist? Can we still appreciate understanding comics? I do. I can. Also, we brought up something. What was okay, it was Amazing Spider-Man 611. Yeah, I mean, you got a great sense of humor. And that's the best part about it too. It says sometimes you just don't know if he's joking or not. And that's like, I like that. Amazing Spider-Man 611. This is the Eric Kennedy issue that was very divisive to a lot of people. I've been on Thinking Critical's Comics Aficionados with Yul Carter and Eric Kennedy at the same time. It was a wonderful show. And then Eric started following me on Twitter. And then so it's like, it's nice. You see, oh, Eric Kennedy liked your tweet. And I buy his comic. I buy his Arc Athena. And I also love to retweet his original art that he shares with us on his Twitter feed. People like him, artists like him, make Twitter a better place. ASM 611 now. ASM 611. And seriously, this is coming to a point here. It's okay. It's 9.2. It's $25. In what is this? This is the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. I got this originally because we were talking about the golden age of comic books, and I loved having conversations about the golden age of comics. And because then it begs definition for the other ages of comics. How do you age them? Are they? This is a Deadpool appearance. Yeah. And see, they have like gradings on top there. GD 2.0. That's good. Very good. 4.0. Fine. 6.0. Very fine. 8.0. Very fine / near mint is a 9. Near mint is a 9.2. Deadpool, that's Amazing Spider-Man number 11. It's only listed at a 9.2 at $25. The Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. This is really a great resource. I've got a few of them. I originally picked them up for the glossary so we could have these conversations about the ages of comic books. And I wanted to educate myself and be like, I didn't want to fall into a trap where like someone's just going to call you out on social media and be right, saying like, hey man, don't listen to this guy. He does not know what he's talking about. He's like talking about some dark age of comics. He picked up off of Grant Morrison and Mark Miller. He's really meaning the Copper Age and how the Copper Age turns into the modern age in 1993 up until right now. Yeah, seriously. So I use the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide's glossary to define the ages of comic books. The Golden Age, 1938 to 1955. The Silver Age, 1956 to 1970. The Bronze Age, 1970 to 1984. The Copper Age, 1984 to 1993. And then the modern age of comic books as defined. And this, the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, is it's from 1993 up until now. A catch-all term applied to comics published since 1992. That's 32 years. That's a long time. Ooh. Nice. But yeah, these are great books. And that numbered scale, it breaks it down right here. I got the Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics. This is a fun book. Again, this it shows you like what is up with that number on the top of your slab. You know, our friend Yule Carter loves to crack that slab, but what does a 9.8 really mean? And can you trust it? Well, if you go to certain, you know, there are like 3 or 4 different grading companies that will, you know, evaluate your comic book and put it into a plastics, you know, slab. And here's that grading point system that we just saw, the prices. Incomplete, and they have missing pages. There's poor, there's fair, like the one point, you know, and you know, you have so many things. And on the top of it is a 10, a gem mint. It's probably never been touched by human hands, you know, never been read, never been kissed. But a near mint minus, you know what I mean? This is the 10-point grading scale suggested by 9.9 these days. Yeah. And let's look at a 7.5. And it's going to show us, it's going to point out stuff like an abrasion with color loss, minor color flecks, corners, minor abraded corner. Abraded corner. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, you got spine stress. That sums up like all my comic books that are in those they were in. I should have used boards the entire time. Would have helped with all that spine roll. Seriously, like none of those comics, you know, are could be worth their own cover price. That's just a real kick in the pants. But they were a labor of love. And they were what I was doing, you know. That's cool. And this is Miss Fury. This is not Selena Kyle Catwoman. This is a Golden Age character named Miss Fury. And she was drawn by Billy Tucci. And I asked Billy to sign this for me when I met him at Wicked Comic Con Boston 2022. Was it 2023? Yeah, it was last year. And that's cool. Yeah, he got a kick out of this because he's like, yeah, he knows the Overstreet people. They're like good. They're old family friends now. And he was like, he may or may not have some more projects coming out with them. And that's awesome. What's in the bag? All right. Well, good to see you, Mo. Thank you so much for dropping by and spending some time with us. And Mo is coming at us all the way from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the other side of the planet. So uniting us in culture. We have a culture that unites us. We really do. We meet and we're friendly and we're respectful, and we can there's even room to argue. And but we literally have, you know, where we're connected over this worldwide web, literally at the speed of light. Little to no lag is going on in any of these conversations. And, you know, unless you're watching it and you hit live, if you see a little number next to live, that means you could be 20 seconds behind. You ever send in a super chat and you're like, holy shit, I'm 20 minutes behind. No wonder why. And like, yeah, I hate when that happens. I know what you mean. I only bought 2 comic books this week at my local comic book shop on Wednesday at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. When I showed up there, they open up at 11 on Wednesday. I did not find 2 books that I wanted. They were open for 4 hours. I'm not being critical of my shop. I know I've talked to the owner, and he's flat out told me that he covers his pull lists, but he only gets like very, very little for the shelves. He does not want to get stuck with magazines he can't move. And I understand. So that's why I actually started my pull list, was to help with that. You know what I mean? And not because it's useless for me being huffy puffy if like they could have ordered me one and I know I'm going to get it. You know, so that's like Green Lantern, Superman, Hulk, and then just like Transformers, G.I. Joe, you know, just and then keep them informed about which minis are coming out. And I think I have currently 14 titles on my weekly pull list. So yeah, so Geiger number 6. Geiger is not the Ghost Machine title that's on my pull list. I do have one. It is Rook Exodus, and I did put that on my pull list after I missed issue 4, and Yul Carter of Fantastic Comics was awesome enough to have a copy to sell me. And so yeah, I didn't miss a beat. I missed a couple of weeks on a physical copy, but you know, it's like it's still, you know, I still got the run complete. But Geiger number 6, I said this to Yul for his show this week. It is a test. Geiger number 6 is a testament to what makes this medium so great. It is a wonderful standalone issue. It's about the wolf, the two-headed wolf, healing itself after this harrowing, life-threatening adventure. You know, they've gotten out to the other side, and perhaps the wolf's spirit is broken, and the wolf goes on a quest. I don't want to spoil any of this for you. And Yul says, a lot of it is just space, too. Just wait and see how action looks on the shelf after 1 month of weekly comics. Exactly. You've been saying this, like, because those 2 issues are going to add up to 10 issues in 5 weeks. And that's not fair. And especially if it lacks returnability, too. Because, like, some books have it, and some books don't. But yeah, Geiger 6 was amazing. It was so good that I was going to pick up a copy. I mean, the artwork in that is so sweet. What a fun book. This is going to make a good movie. This is the stuff where you're going to see, like, we would be lucky and blessed to get Geiger movies. This would work. This will be fun. A hero to root for, a future to avoid. You know, and humans being desperate in the post-apocalyptic age. And that's like, wow, it's got everything. It's a good book. And so is Rook Exodus as well. And he's got Jeff Johns has another title coming out on Ghost Machine called Hyde Street. And it's a horror book. And he's being paired with his longtime partner in Green Lantern, Ivan Reis. That looks interesting too. I mean, I'm not buying Redcoat. I'm not buying Geiger. I am buying Rook Exodus, and there is room to hop on to any of these. I'm actually behind on Redcoat a few issues. It's not my favorite. I don't know why, but Geiger really is. It's number 2. It's like if you have like a good baseball team, like you have a starting pitcher, your ace, and then you have a really good number 2 pitcher, you know? Yeah, I love that. Let's see. What else did I get? Okay, what else wasn't there too? So that wasn't there. That was already sold out. But it's issue 6 and an ongoing, you know what I mean? So it's not like, you know, just he didn't order many, and I didn't put it on my list. So let's see. I also missed out on Precious Metals number 4 of 6, which is an image book, and the story's really coming together, but the art is very Mobius. It's very European bande dessinée. It's very kind of like body horror meets. It's like if David Cronenberg did Blade Runner instead of Ridley Scott, with Jean Giraud doing all the production, you know, design. And I love this book, and it's big. Every issue's chunky. It's a thick read. It's a $4.99, and they're usually like 50 odd pages, full of this wonderful art too. This Euro style sci-fi art, and it's just grotesque, and it's just fantastic at the same time. I love this book. This book will probably be in my top 10 of the year for 2024. And looking forward to it. All right, what do we get for physical copies this week? We've got Transformers number 12, finishing this arc up. They still rule the roost on these awesome variant covers. Yeah, if you buy a copy of this through Fantastic Comics with Yule Carter, you'll be put on this wheel. You know, the wheel, like, you know, the spinning wheel. And the more people that buy it, the more names go on the list to get the, like, the 1 in 10 or the 1 in 25 variant. I don't know what is, like, the criteria is, but he switches that up a lot. But it's like, that's a cool thing that if you bought Transformers through Yule, he usually does something like that. So you know, check him out. The art in this is fantastic. Jorge Corona is kind of aping Daniel Warren Johnson's style, but it works because it totally fits with everything that came before it. It's a huge fight. It's between, you know, it's Optimus versus Shockwave, and Optimus is the fate of two worlds is in balance, and Optimus has to make a choice, you know, for old wars and the old planet, or the potential of this new world that needs his fostership and protection, where they can start to live a more, you know, idyllic life. Oh gosh. And the choice he makes, and he might have damned all of us. And Daniel Warren Johnson has 12 more issues to go on this. I hear he's stepping down at issue 24. I got this information from Wes at Thinking Critical during the Comics Aficionado show just yesterday. And let's see. Oh boy, the final, it went to overtime, and the Seahawks won in overtime. So the Seahawks must have kicked that field goal and tied the game up in the last minute, and they got a kick, and they won 23-20. There we go. But hey, it was an entertaining game. And that's all you can ask for. You know what I mean? It's did I watch the anniversary short from Trigger about Transformers? No, I didn't. I did not. It didn't come across that. That didn't come across my desk, Pikachu. Huh? Oh, he was busy writing the show notes. Of course, he's always got an excuse. But it's a fun book. It's a great book. I hope you catch on to it. It's I like Beachcomber. Beachcomber's a fun character. He doesn't want to fight. He just wants to appreciate nature and shit. I like him a lot. Green Lantern number 15, $4.99. This is over 30 pages. It's got a backup, the World Journal epilogue, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and art by Montas. And it's some denouement on the Green Lantern War Journal series that he just finished up. And this will actually spill into a new title called the Green Lantern Civil Corps, whatever that is. Maybe they're builders instead of policemen. This was a fun book. Hey, look, here comes your Lantern of Sorrow and some conflict. And this is Carol Ferris for the first time owning her powers and using them as a superhero. So you're going to see Star Sapphire on the next incarnation of the Justice League of America. And this is a tie-in to Absolute Power. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern. It's fun. And that's. I got this in the mail yesterday morning. I backed this. And sure, yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I ordered this. He crowdfunded it in February, and it fulfilled in September. And it's supposed to come with a Matchbox car. I hear you. Thank you so much, AL, for dropping by. I hope you had a good time. Hope we helped take your mind off your mind. And And now get back to adulting. I hear you. Happy 420. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Hope I don't get talkative. Oh yeah. Cyberfrog Deluxe. Heartsick Horror. It's issue 2.5. Nice kind of foil accents to it. Art by E.J. Mortgages and Kane and White. So it's anthology. It's 3 tales told in the in-between places of Cyberfrog. It shows the progression of time. So, and it shows like it catches us up to 2018. And yep, we got 3. Yep. It's like the art's all right, you know. E.J. Morgis's more hyper detailed, follows that Van Sciver line and line weight and fineness of just, you know, hyper detailed. Also, one thing that Van Sciver excels at is imaginative grotesque. But there's some really dynamic panels and pages. Decent fight scenes, you know. I think it cost $25, but then I paid a little bit more because we were putting a Cyberfrog wrap on a NASCAR that was driven by Cody Dennison, aka Camelot, who's a friend of the Jack Show and other shows out there. And he's one of these YouTubers. So Cody Dennison had 2 cars, 2 races that we crowdfunded. He used a new printing. Ethan used a new printing of this, and was like, we're going to include a Matchbox car, and it's going to look like the Cyberfrog car that we're going to sponsor for this NASCAR. And we got 2 races out of it. And I think it was maybe $40,000 crowdfunded, you know, and we did it as a team, as a culture, as a little internet society of fans of the same thing. We banded together. We passed the hat. We just wanted to do it. Wouldn't that look cool to have Cyberfrog on a NASCAR? Like, who else is doing that? DC Comics should be doing that. Why isn't there a big old Superman mobile? Why isn't anyone tricked out a NASCAR with a skin on it that looks like a Batmobile? You know what I mean? Like, make it distinctive. Like, this is the DC car. DC sponsored this car. You know, or the Invisible Jet, you know, and just have like, I don't know. I don't have answers. All I got are more questions. Have a good one, AL. God bless. Namaste and good luck. Much love to you and your family. And I'll give you all your email address too. I will. And yeah, I read a bunch of Marvel comics this week. I did. I read Wolverine #1 by Solomon Ahmed and art by Kokolo. It was really good art. Martin Kokolo. And one thing I like about there are things I like about publishing, about magazines, about periodical publications. So with the new Brevoort X-Men titles, everything starting with issue 1, you know, they still have a legacy number. So what? Okay, sure, fine. they have a familiar design. There's a great, I like the first page. I'll show it. Yeah, why not? They all look like this. Great line work. It's Wolverine. And they have, see the X, well, sometimes on those sides there, they're filled with X's with a different face on it and their character name. Now this is just for about Wolverine, and they don't want to spoil the secret appearance by beep, you know what I mean? You know, showing up to help out his friend. Tom Brevoort, conductor of X. It's Mark Basso is the editor, Drew Baumgartner is the assistant editor, but Jay Bowen, design. And they all share the same kind of design page. Like, you know, they look X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, NYX, Phoenix. They all look like this page, the opening page with the indicia and the credits and the info dump. Here's your info dump. Remember, it's in issue 1, so there's not a lot they want to throw at you. But I've noticed that, and that I've really enjoyed this this unity in the public, in the line, and the X titles. It really brings it together in a nice way. And also they have the stupid fucking, I didn't click it. I didn't put, you know, I didn't do it. I didn't want to. Didn't want to do what, Sully? I didn't want to click this. This is a new thing for these. They're trying for these Marvel comic books. The last page is a QR code. This is an entire page, okay? A print page, not a small QR code that, you know what I mean? But this is going to lead you to a page full of art, the last page of this comic. I didn't read it. I refuse to, because I don't want my click to be a metric that adds to someone saying, hey, look, all these people are showing up to see this last page. The QR code must be working there, Mr. Jones. God will keep it. You know, it's not in your print comic book, is it? Did it really happen? You know? Does the Pope shit in the woods? You know what I mean? There's like a tree falls in the forest. Does anyone care or hear? Does it still make a sound? And where's the Red Sox score? Ay caramba. The top 9, the Yankees are up 5-2. That's okay. You know, we've won a lot here in Boston. I'm very grateful and blessed for that. Seriously, it's been what an experience. It was a hostess ad. I think the number crunchers look at NASCAR and say, how many readers are we really reaching here? But it's about exposing things to the normies. You know, it's like we were talking yesterday on Wes is Thinking Critical about the sheer Herculean effort that Scott Snyder is doing on social media, pimping the hell out of absolute Batman. And we're all pretty proud of him, except for Jim Warner, who is being, you know, a cute little sourpuss. He's so funny. But that, you know, but he's like really putting in the effort. But when it comes down to it, we come to the realization that he's only preaching to the choir, that he is the echo in the bubble. He is the echo in the chamber, and he's making the echoes in the chamber. Who outside of this bubble is hearing this message? Where, you know, is there an ad for Absolute Wonder Woman in this month's Teen Vogue? I asked that question. I'd like to know. Wouldn't that be the right place for it? You know what I mean? Hey, girls, there's a new Wonder Woman made just for you. Now 85% more gay. I don't know. Like I said, that's a that's a prediction. I never heard that. I didn't read that anywhere. I'm saying it. I'm making the call from here. It's up there with like Dune 1 and with like, I'm just like, oh no, you turn Liet Kynes from a white man into a black woman. You're going to have to change the death. Like, what are you talking about? He died a pathetic death that should never have happened. And you're not going to have slavers kill a black woman. I mean, she's going to have to change it to a heroic death. What's the big difference? Are you shitting me? The only reason why you couldn't give the new kinds of the same pathetic death is because she's dispatched by, you can't do that to a woman of color in 2024. That was my whole thing. But it's like, so where was I going with that? Jed McKay's Vengeance of the Moon Knight #9 was pretty darn good. Great art by Devmalia Pramanik. I got savvied onto Dev Pramanik's art and way back in The Vigil on DC Comics. It was a 6-issue mini written by Ram V. And he just did a pickup issue, but what I just loved his fight scenes. So this is full of fight scenes. This is like, I'm not really a big Moon Knight fan. This was a good issue of Moon Knight. Really was. Venom War Wolverine, written by Tim Seeley and it's Andy Fleeks and Tony Fleeks, but art by Kev Walker. I like this issue a lot. It's kind of simple. It's in the Venom War stuff. I really don't care about the Venom War stuff, but I'm reading all of these Marvel magazines. So it's like, I just do because they're in this pirate chest. And I just read these comic books and then I talk about these comic books. And some of them I get greater appreciations than not. And like here. This is Uncanny X-Men #2. This is written by Gail Simone, art by David Marquez. And here's that, like I said, here's the design of that page, of the info page. So we have info dump, we have a dramatis personae, we have the indicia, and we have the credits. But over here it says C.B. Sapolsky, editor-in-chief, and it says Tom Brevoort, editor. Annalise Bisa, associate editor. Martin Biro, associate editor. Jay Bowen, design. And we get introduced to a lot of new characters here. Do I have this issue? I don't think I bought this. Because it's a key issue, because it's the first appearance of 4 New Mutants. That would have been the last issue, not this issue. We find out who they are. The Outliers. Who are the Outliers? It was a decent issue, I'll tell you that much. I enjoyed it. I was satisfied with it. Well, almost up until the last page. But if the bad guys are using Gray Malkin Lane and the old mansion and institute as a prison for bad mutants, then the person that gets dropped there at the end of the issue really deserves it to be incarcerated, in my humble opinion. as a character, yes. Venom War Carnage #2 and Venom #37 both tie in to Venom War. And they're both written by Torrin Grunbeck. And let me tell you, Venom War Carnage #2 is really good. It's over the top, and it's a horror. So there's a lot of slice and dice, a lot of grotesque, a lot of body horror, like morphing, just carnage stuff. It's gruesome. It's bloody. It's pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. There were 2 other Venom. There was literally 5 Venom books out this week. Venom 2, 3. Yeah, I could only read 3 of them. There were the 2 other ones. One was Separation Anxiety, written by Michelini, which is set in like the past, and Venomverse Reborn, which is it's okay. It's not completely bad. I like the last issue. Maybe I'll read that later or something. I read Ultimate Black Panther number 8. A lot of people are pish-poshing this. I, for one, just like, I think it's fine. It's still, you know, Brian Hill, Stefano Caselli, and it's really good fight scenes in this. I had no problems with it. Star Wars Inquisitors number 3. Yeah, sure. But Star Wars number 50, written by Charles Soule. This is the last issue of Volume 6. Oh, no, Volume 2. I don't think it's Volume 3. Because Volume 1 of Star Wars was 1977 and 1985. But new Marvel Star Wars, 2015. Would that be, well, why don't we look it up? Where? In the comic book price guide. It usually tells something like that. This is why this book is really cool. I wish there was an app for this. So I could have an app on my iPhone so I can look at these price lists. Seriously. Look how the page is formatted. I would love to have like that kind of information available to me at my fingertips when I'm at the long boxes at a con. Star Wars. There's Dark Horse Star Wars as well. And that doesn't, you know. Star Wars, and that became Star Wars Republic at issue 46. It started in 1998 up until issue 45, and it ended in August of 2005. Star Wars, 1977 through number 107, September 1986. But it doesn't say like volume number. But it says 2020 series versus 2015 series. Indeed. Look for yourself. That's how it looks in the page. That number is how much that issue would be worth at a 9.2 near mint. None of my comics, very few of my comics are that good, or that clean, or that crisp. Ugh. But yeah, it's the grand finale, issue 50. No legacy number, huh? There's your it's 57 issues, 57 it's $7.99. It's 57 pages long, so it's a little oversized. But it starts off Luke training Ben Solo. And here you go. Your pleas to have the sequel trilogy be erased will never happen. Seriously. They spent way too much money on that to throw it away because of the fiat and the capricious nature of the old fans. They'll just wait till we all die off, and they'll just be like, "Hey, look at all the Star Wars. It's always been this way." McClunky. Spider-Gwen number 5. It was decent, written by Stephanie Phillips, and I like it when a writer who gets a lot of shit can do the job. I like that. It's fine. Spider-Man Reign 2, issue number 3 by Kari Andrews is magnificent. The art is so tight. I love this issue. It's wacky. It's out there. It takes a kind of a leap of faith, but it really pulls together story threads from the first 2 issues. And so things start making sense story-wise. And I really like, this made me come around on Spider-Man Reign 2. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is kind of fun. And there was Fantastic Four number 25 by Ryan North that came out this week. And this, I didn't get any shit for it, but this is what we were arguing about on Wes's yesterday, because I like science fiction stories. I always have, like real sci-fi. And Fantastic Four has sci-fi elements to it. And it's called Star-Crossed. It's just kind of like a one and done. And Star-Crossed is usually a reference. It's a Shakespeare reference. Always on. It's always always in arm's reach. It's right next to the Star Wars books. Star-crossed means like star-crossed lovers, such as Romeo and Juliet in the opening of that play. And it's just like something happens where like the Fantastic Four ended up in like an alternate past or something, but there is an indigenous species there of these, things. These like, they've got tentacles and they're like worm people. And it's told from her point of view. She identifies as a woman, as a female. And she was assigned to being a liaison to the youngest of the aliens who emerged from a gale with a name to match, Johnny of the Storm. And this is a romance book. This is these two are genuinely interested in each other. Hey, James, good to see you. Welcome aboard as we get controversial. And they become friends. And they fall in love. And they have a relationship. And over time, they build, of course, the Fantastic Four has to build a new ship to leave. And he's like, there has to be a way, we're in an alternate thing. And so if we leave, we're going to mess up this, reality or something like that, where there's only one solution where they can save both existences, but the star-crossed lovers would never again meet. And everyone's just like, oh, are you kidding me? Now he's like some kind of like xeno, philia or something. And I'm like, I see something a bit more classic sci-fi about this. I'm sorry, Siri. Siri, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
She's Australian. Siri, what's 0 divided by 0?
If nothing is divided by nothing, then there's nothing to divide or divide it with, and the division never happened. So my answer is no.
My answer is no, which is not a number. The sum of two other numbers, or the product, therefore, of. Woo! Oh my goodness. And it used to have a Cookie Monster is sad answer. I like that. But I can't, because it's a strange issue. It's like Johnny Storm, a notorious skirt chaser. You know what I mean? As a ladies' man, he's like, he's in a romance, but with a completely non-humanoid looking alien. And is this weird? Is this gross? Is this supposed to be an allegory for something intersectional? Which I didn't think so, because I think it was just a lot more classic sci-fi. The first sci-fi book that comes up to my mind would be Octavia E. Butler's Bloodchild. And I read that in the early 80s. And this was just a short story about an Earth human colony on another planet that's been populated already with, so they live in coexistence with the kind of insectoid kind of life that already lives there. And part of the blood child, the child coming to maturation, it's his turn. Like, he's old enough that he can finally be a host for one of the eggs. And part of getting ready for that is that they drink from other eggs. There's only one egg or two that will go into your leg. Your blood will nourish the egg, and it will be your child with the alien. And so, but the alien's going to put the egg in you, it's an intimate thing, But also, the alien will also have discharge a couple of eggs. So when you drink from the egg, it has such a narcotic effect. And so it's a coming of age story for the young human who was a teenager. And but it's also about xenophile. Would you call it a xenophile? A xenophobe would be literally someone who's scared of the outside, an outsider, but a xenomorph is something completely different. But yeah, it was it's Bloodchild by the amazing Octavia E. Butler. And I've read The Parable of the Sower. I've read her stuff. Wow, she's good. And do yourself a favor, put Octavia E. Butler on your read list. Seriously. And Ursula K. Le Guin, you want to talk about the real second wave feminists of late 20th century science fiction? Dude, do yourself a favor, write it down. It's a good one. And in any of these books that I showed you earlier, there's links in the description to its Amazon pages that you can, or even inquire with your local comic book shop to see if they have them in stock. And they should be a welcomed addition to any of your collections. But yeah, I had the most different opinion about Fantastic Four 25. I haven't heard anyone champion it the way I do. I have no problems with this. It's kind of creeping people, not my opinion, maybe it does, but the issue itself, like Johnny Storm, she's not a humanoid. She's not, because he literally was married to Lyra, the Skrull. Remember? So it's like he's definitely slept with plenty of aliens. But I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with this. It actually reminds me of that old sense of late 20th century sci-fi. Like Ray Bradbury could have wrote a story just like this. I see that. So bravo, Ryan North. Bravo. I give you credit where credit is due. You told an impressive science fiction love story. I thought so. Captain America 13 by J. Michael Straczynski, and not with Jesus Saez, who can't finish what he started. and it's The Last Stand of the Front Door Part 2. This whole thing with the cabaret, the front door cabaret, this mystical place, this fight between angels and death, and it's not the death you think of, not Thanos' death, but Michael Straczynski's Captain America's death, who is a death, not the death. I don't know, but it's visually, it looked a lot like the movie Walter Hill's 1984 Streets of Fire, and I'm pretty good at this stuff. And that's all I got to say about this comic book. Bloodhunters #2 by Erica Schultz, 23 pages, $3.99, and it's actually kind of entertaining. It's a lot of action, and it's it works. Why not? Give credit where credit's due. It's an all-chick team plus Miles Morales, and we're fighting vampires. The new vampire status quo in the Marvel universe, and following Blood Hunt. So yeah, check it out. We've got Avengers Assemble #1, written by Steve Orlando, and art by Corey Smith, and with inks as well. That's what got me. I like the art in this a lot, and the story wasn't bad. See, once again, when Steve Orlando can just tell a story, do the yeoman's work, show up for work and knock it out. I mean, I like the team. I didn't even notice how diverse the team was until after the fact. He's got Shang-Chi, he's got Photon, he's got Janet Pym. Was it Janet Van Dyne? I don't recall. And there's Jarvis, and then there's a B team. But they bring back Sin, who is the Red Skull's daughter, and it was, I think, a really interesting villainess. And I didn't mind this one bit. It was entertaining, and it satisfied, and it landed. It just, give credit where credit's due. Seriously. And then comes Amazing Spider-Man issue 57. Written by Zeb Wells, art by John Romita Jr., inked by Scott Hanna. It's not a great... I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm going to pull up to 400. Here's your info dump page, and we got great art by John Romita Jr. But it's pacing. I mean, I'm loving it. This is some of the best John Romita Jr. with Scott Hanna inks are. It's so great. It's about pacing, panel pacing, storytelling, and what we would refer to as camera work. And I think it's amazing. This is great work. This is really great art. It's rising and falling tension, and it's got a great resolution. I think the John Romita art severely elevates the Zeb Wells story once again. Hello, how's it going? We're having a good day. We're having some fun talking about pop culture and some comic books. And I was reviewing 19? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 Marvel comics I read this week. Sheesh. I read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2, written by Jason Aaron on I had that blown up a bit. I had that blown up to 400%. And so it's weird because the art gets pixelated but the onomatopoeia and the and the lettering doesn't. It's clear as day. Except, and you can notice when there is hand-drawn onomatopoeia, when you blow up, the reader to 400 to 600%, when everything gets pixelated, except for the lettering and whatever clicked and point, dragged and dropped sound effects they drop in there. That's not drawn in by the artist, in my humble opinion. I thought it was okay. Fear Monarch enjoyed issue 2. That's great. Good to hear. It was lost on me. I'm like, it was kind of confusing. Maybe this is all going to make sense in issue 5 once we've been introduced to all the turtles, and now can assess the status quo. This one was Michelangelo's issue. The last issue 1 was about Raphael. Was it because it was Donatello that was in the was that the Free Comic Book Day, or was that a issue 0? Oh boy, can't keep track of all these comic book stories. That's okay. That's why we have each other to remind each other of. No, that happened then. The Chuck Dixon stuff, yeah, and we were talking about that yesterday. Chuck Dixon was doing Tim Drake Robin and Nightwing at the same time during that big heyday of all those Batman family comic books. Loved that time. What else did I read? I read something called Hour of the Wolf on Mad Cave Comics. It's about a haunted portrait that forces its owner to be its agent, and then it falls into like supernatural horror mysteries, haunted houses, hell dimensions, werewolves hanging off of hooks, and oh no, now she's trapped in the picture. Yeah. Something like that. And it was entertaining. It was in issue 1. Just like, it's random issue 1. Here's a Mad Cave book. It's in your pirate chest. Like, okay, I'll give that sure. I'll give it a peek. I did not read Prodigy Slaves of Mars 1 or 2, which is funny because I am a huge Mark Millar fan. But I hadn't read the previous 2 Prodigy books. They went over, and I can always go back and read them. So I'm really not clued into it. So I haven't made the effort to read it. It's in my pile though. That one comes out on October 30th. So I don't think I'll talk about that one. What else did I read? There's some Image Comics. One thing I'm really liking is The Walking Dead Deluxe. If you're a Walking Dead fan, it's just going to catch you off guard the way I did. I read an issue a couple of months ago, and it was like the first time Rick and Michonne come across Jesus, and that's before they meet Negan. So Glenn's still alive. So you're like, holy shit! There's so much bad shit about to go down, but it's after the prison, and so and the governor. Wow, what a story! But it's been colored, so it's just Robert Kirkman, republishing his old stuff, his black and white magazine that never missed a month, and he's coloring it and he's re-releasing it, and I'm like, okay, this works, because I love these issues. I love that comic book. I was reading that in trade paperback. That was like the big thing. Was like I had the first 2 compendiums, the phone book ones, and I had a shitload of the trade paperbacks. And I kind of fell off of it too. I never watched the show. Well, actually, I watched the show, I think, up until the end of season 3. That was at Terminus. And I was just like, well, this is too, I felt this diverged too far away from what I knew in the book that, like, and I got that final issue too. That was good. That was really good. Geiger number 6. Yeah. Domain number 3 I read because this is like this is okay. I'll show you. Why not? Share this tab instead, please. Domain number 3. It's written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Rachel Stott, and but see, like the names that are crossed out up there, and it says Dallas Comics. Those are the characters from his Chip Zdarsky's other book, Public Domain, which is this is the Domain is the book that they're producing in Public Domain. So this is like really meta. And I'm liking Public Domain. I don't know if I like this book all that much, but this actually had a great ending and made me interested in what's next. Like the most trusted member of the team. The power of the Domain is not the Silver Age anymore. There, you aging cis-typical male patriarchal fan. You can't have the Domain be this one white guy anymore. Now the Domain has to share the power in that academic postmodern way in a diverse squad with a body positive white guy who's on the alphabet community, and 2 chicks that are a different chicks of color, and it's just like Public Domain is about old creators trying to we have a chance to do this again, but do we have to listen to this thing of the modern audience? Is it going to sell? We're going to put all this effort into this book, and so I'm really liking Public Domain, but the Domain itself, I mean, it's not my favorite. King Spawn's good. King Spawn was amazing. Scorched is really good too. Scorched is $2.99. This issue right here is $2.99. Written by John Layman, rather. Sorry. These Spawn books are really hot. I barely know anything about them, but it's like these are comic books. These are really good comic books, and there's the new Spawn universe. If you need some inspiration to find something to spend some time and money on, especially at $2.99 an issue. That's like Wes just did a thing about average prices, and everything's about almost close to $5 and over $5 too. It was like IDW's average price is like 5 and high change, and like DC and Marvel are like 4 and high change, close to $5 an issue. So it's like, but $2.99 for McFarlane's Spawn titles, and they're pretty consistent. They're pretty simple. They're pretty fun, and they're pretty much made for new readers too. They're old school, and I really appreciate it. And I'm not gonna read this. This is written by Jerry Duggan with art by John McCrae, who did Hitman, and he did some of The Boys. No, Derek Robertson did The Boys. Sorry. McCrae is usually a really good artist that I like a lot, and I would have picked this up to support Duggan and McCrae, because like I've been a big fan of John McCrae, but I found out that I was blocked by John McCrae. Yeah. On Twitter, yeah. because I've never had an interaction with them, and it's kind of heartbreaking because and this is the part where I can't separate the art from the artist, is when they've judged me so impersonally, but on a personal basis. It's like, how am I supposed to want to buy your stuff anymore? Don't give money to people that hate you. I actually said it to Jerry Duggan because I like Jerry Duggan. Let's see. Wow. Let's try that again. I didn't erase anything. Oh, that's cute. Here, let's share that. Because I go up to him and I say hi. Every time I see him at a Boston Con. So this is from Boston Comic Con 2015. When I met Jerry Duggan for the first time. And we have a mutual friend in real life. They were roommates in Emerson, and they went to college together. And so I'm like, hey, I know, but so Jerry Duggan's like, old Dead Eyes is back tomorrow. I'm like, sorry, Jerry, I never had an interaction with the guy, and it's awful because I love his work. This culture of using block lists is terrible, and I can't support this title. And I'm saying this to its writer, and he didn't block me for saying that. I'm just letting, I'm not hauling off on him. I'm not, this is just don't, and I can't support this title. Don't give money to people who hate you. Sorry, buddy. I'll get you on another title. I like your stuff. Eric from Boston with our mutual friend. And here it is. Yeah. For what it was, it could have been anything. More than likely, you're on a list of people that you're adjacent to. Like you like the wrong tweet, or you follow somebody. It could be anyone. More than likely, it's Ethan Van Sciver. It was like a lightning rod for like a lot of stuff. But hey, I mean, it's like, I like art. And I do kind of like, I like the shock jock fucking thing to the stupidity. Some of it goes way too far. But I'm okay with that. And I don't mind. And it's not a cloister space where you can't, not say that. I say that shit all the time. Like I am not into this part of it. No, thank you. But whatever it was, and how long ago did it happen? I have no clue. How long has John McCrae blocked me? You know what I mean? It wasn't on anything interpersonal. I've never spoken to the person online. And that just, it's so disheartening. It's like, yeah, I mean, how am I supposed to buy your stuff ever again? I'm not a sucker. I'm not your bitch. You expect me to buy your fucking shit now? Then you don't expect me. You don't care because you've already been paid by, the publisher for this. So it's like it's a contract gig. You don't have to worry about that stuff. What up, Morning Hayes? Good to see you. How you doing? Welcome. We've got room for everyone. Just don't eat the pets. Oh, man. Well, I want to see more evidence if that's the case. I mean, gee, how are you going to show evidence for that? Examine poo? Find bones? What, are you going to have to radiocarbon date this stuff? Get some sense CSI. PETA CSI. Where's PETA when we need them? When they're making obnoxious lefty demands on fucking on Twitter. I mean, why can't they fucking police this? Why, this is one of your ideas. Why can't you police your own, motherfucker? Oh, but really, I mean, and that's that. That's all we got this week for pop culture stuff. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. And it's been the Sunday Sully super stream. And thank you for everyone that's tuned in. If you need a local comic book shop in your life, you could be your own mailbox away. Check out the deets in the description of this show. Contact Yule Carter at Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California, and he might be able to get you those back issues that you're looking for, or something recent that, you know, may have not been on the shelves, you know, that you might have missed. Hit him up. I'm allergic to cats, so, you know, they're off my diet. Oh, boy. But I did make a pussy eating joke earlier. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.